This is the Possible Care for Dogs. The podcast begins.
Okay, let's dive right into it. Today, we're opening up a fascinating subject, the German Shepherd.
A big one.
Yeah, we've pulled together some key excerpts from a German Shepherd Health and Care Guide article. And our mission for this deep dive is simple. Really unpack this guide and, zero in on the absolute most important knowledge you need.
Stuff to help your German Shepherd companion not just live, but really thrive.
Exactly.
It's such a critical topic. I mean, German Shepherds are these incredible dogs known globally as, well, working legends. Their courage, their intelligence, that deep emotional bond they form, they make amazing companions, service dogs, guardians. Just incredible.
But there's always a but.
Well, as the source material makes clear, their unique traits also come with specific health considerations, things that require, a dedicated approach.
Right. So, drawing straight from the guide, we're going to look at common health challenges, break down what the source says about nutrition, grooming, exercise needs.
Crucial vet care, too.
Crucial vet care, yeah, and even the emotional landscape of this complex breed. It's all here in the material, and we're going to walk you through the essentials.
Sounds good. Let's start right where the guide puts a lot of emphasis understanding and recognizing the common health issues.
Makes sense.
Knowing what to look for and what this breed is predisposed to is, well, it's incredibly powerful for proactive care.
All right, first up, something most people probably associate with large breeds and definitely shepherds, hip and elbow dysplasia.
Right. The guide explains this as essentially joint malformations where the bones don't fit together quite right.
Okay.
This misalignment can cause lameness and lead to painful arthritis, sometimes even showing up in young dogs.
And German shepherds are particularly prone.
Unfortunately, yes. Quite predisposed to this.
And I saw a statistic in the source that really brings this home. It mentions data from the Orthopedic Foundation for Animals.
OFA.
Right.
Yeah, the OFA.
Showing German shepherds are among the top 10 breeds for hip dysplasia, with over 19% of tested dogs affected.
Wow. That's almost 1 in 5. It is significant.
So what can you do?
Well, the great part the guy highlights is there are concrete steps you can take. Sourcing puppies from breeders who do health testing, you got to ask specifically about OFA scores for the parent.
Okay, ask for scores.
Definitely. And keeping your shepherd lean throughout their life is non-negotiable. Extra weight is just extra strain on those joints.
Right.
The guide also recommends joint supplements, think glucosamine, omega-3s, and choosing low-impact exercise. Swimming is great. Maybe not constant hard pounding on pavement.
Okay, got it. Source wisely, keep them trim, support the joints, pick the right activities. Makes sense. Moving on, another serious concern the source addresses, particularly as dogs age, is degenerative myelopathy, or DM.
Ah, yes. DM. This is a progressive neurological disease affecting the spinal cord. It primarily impacts the hind limbs, causing weakness and eventually, well, paralysis.
And the guy says it often starts later in life.
Yeah, often after age 8, you might start seeing symptoms. It's heartbreaking because, the dog's mind often remains sharp even as their body fails them.
Oh, that's tough. Is there anything the guide suggests can be done? Can it be prevented or managed?
Prevention isn't really an option once the genetic predisposition is there, unfortunately. But the guide does mention talking to your vet about genetic testing for the DM mutation.
So you can know.
Yeah, knowing can help you plan. If a dog is diagnosed, the focus shifts to managing the condition. Physical therapy and controlled exercise are key to maintaining mobility for as long as possible.
Okay.
And the source mentions using supportive harnesses and even considering mobility carts for later stages, just to preserve their quality of life.
Right, giving them the best chance. Okay, switching gears a bit, let's talk about stomachs. Shepherds seem notorious for sensitive digestive systems.
They really are. It's a common thing. The source highlights a couple of specific conditions you might encounter. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, and inflammatory bowel disease, IBD.
And there's a statistic in the guide about EPI that's just staggering. It cites a study, I think it was Veterinary Record.
That's the one.
It found German shepherds are 12 times more likely to develop EPI than other breeds. 12.
It's incredible, isn't it? That level of predisposition is huge.
Yeah.
And it absolutely underscores why paying close attention to their diet is so crucial for this breed.
So what does the guide say about feeding them?
It recommends feeding a high-quality, highly digestible diet. And it cautions against just assuming grain-free is always the answer.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, digestibility is the real priority. You need to be vigilant for signs like chronic diarrhea, unexplained weight loss, even if they're eating well, or, excessive gas.
Okay, watch for those signs.
And if you suspect EPI, the guide suggests talking to your vet about testing, because pancreatic enzyme supplements, which the source also mentions, can make a dramatic difference, really turn things around.
Good to know there are options. Okay, and finally, among the serious health risks the guide outlines, there's one that terrifies many owners because it's so sudden. Bloat. Or gastric dilatation volvulus? GDV?
Yes, GDV. This is a true life-threatening emergency. The stomach fills with gas and can twist on itself, cutting off blood supply.
And shepherds are high risk.
Deep-chested breeds like shepherds are definitely at higher risk. Immediate emergency veterinary care is absolutely essential if you even suspect it.
So what are the crucial preventative measures the guide emphasizes for you to take it home?
3 key points from the source stick out. 1, feed multiple small meals a day, maybe 2 or 3 instead of one big one.
Right.
2, and this is crucial, avoid vigorous exercise for about an hour before and after they eat. Let them rest.
Okay, no fetch right after dinner.
Exactly. And 3, especially for active or working shepherds, the guide suggests discussing prophylactic gastropexy surgery with your vet.
That's the stomach tacking thing.
Precisely, a procedure that tacks the stomach in place so it can't twist. It can be a literal lifesaver.
Wow. Okay, that's a lot to consider on the health front, but having this knowledge from the source is definitely the first step.
Absolutely.
Let's shift from potential problems to a core element of daily care: nutrition.
Yes. Diet is truly foundational for a powerhouse breed like the German Shepherd. It impacts everything: their bone structure, joint health, brain function, and as we just discussed, their digestive system.
So what specific dietary recommendations does the guide make? What should you look for?
It advises choosing formulas specifically designed for large breeds. That's important.
Large breed specific, why?
Well, for puppies, for instance, it's vital to ensure the food has a balanced calcium to phosphorus ratio for proper skeletal development. Large breed formulas manage this carefully.
Oh, okay.
The guide also mentions beneficial additions like probiotics for gut health, supporting that sensitive digestion, and fish oils, which are great for both skin and joints, omega-3s.
And the source points to research backing up the importance of early diet.
Right. It does. There's a 2020 study cited from Frontiers in Veterinary Science, I believe.
Yeah.
It linked early dietary intervention in large breed puppies, getting that nutrition right from the start, to significantly lower rates of developmental joint disease later on.
So it really highlights that what you feed them as puppies sets the stage for their adult health.
Absolutely. It makes a huge difference down the road.
Okay. Moving from the inside out, let's talk about managing that incredible coat grooming and skincare.
Oh, the coat.
Prepare for shedding. Shepherds are known for shedding year-round, with those epic coat blows twice a year where it seems like, well, snow.
It's impressive, isn't it? That double coat is a protective marvel, really, designed for harsh weather. But
yeah, needs work.
It needs regular maintenance. Without it, it can quickly lead to painful mats, trapped moisture, and skin infections. Not good.
So what does the guide recommend? Brushing frequency.
It recommends brushing 2 to 3 times a week, minimum, using tools like a slicker brush or an undercoat rake to really get down to that dense undercoat.
Okay, slicker or undercoat rake?
Yeah. Bathing about once a month, or just as needed, with a gentle, skin-appropriate shampoo is usually sufficient. You don't want to overbathe.
Right, and the other stuff.
Don't forget the routine things. Cleaning ears weekly, trimming nails every 3-4 weeks, and always keep an eye out for skin issues, dryness, flakiness, or those notorious hot spots.
Okay, all right, let's talk energy levels. Because needs exercise feels like a massive understatement for a shepherd.
It absolutely does. The source emphasizes that for this breed, exercise isn't just, a preference, it's a fundamental requirement for their body and their mind.
So what kind of exercise commitment are we talking about, realistically?
The guide suggests a minimum of 60 to 90 minutes of activity daily. Minimum.
Wow, okay. An hour to an hour and a half.
And it stresses mixing it up. Don't just do the same walk every day. Structured walks are good, but add in fetch, agility work, even scent games. Variety keeps their body fit and their mind engaged.
And that mental challenge.
Yeah.
The guides seem to stress that too, especially for this breed.
Absolutely. It's just as important as the physical, perhaps even more so for a breed bred for complex tasks. They need to use their brains.
So like what kind of mental stuff.
The guide highlights the need for ongoing training, puzzle feeders, tracking games, really anything that makes them think. Challenging their minds builds confidence, prevents boredom, and satisfies that innate drive to work.
I saw a really interesting detail in the source about this, a 2022 article in Applied Animal Behavior Science. It found a strong link between underexercised German Shepherds and increased instances of anxiety, chewing, other destructive behaviors.
It really underlines it, doesn't it? Exercising their mind is just as vital as exercising their body. It's not about simply tiring them out. It's about engaging their intelligence.
Gotcha. Engage the brain. Now, keeping all these systems healthy requires partnership with your veterinarian, which brings us to preventative vet care.
Crucial partnership.
What specific checkups and screenings does the guide recommend beyond the standard yearly stuff?
Well, given the breed's predispositions we talked about, the guide lists yearly hip and elbow screenings, especially when they're younger.
Sure.
Regular neurologic exams become important as they age, checking for those early signs of DM.
Right.
Full GI panels might be recommended by your vet if you're seeing chronic diarrhea or unexplained weight loss, going back to those sensitive stomachs we discussed.
Makes sense.
And annual blood work and mobility assessments are generally advised to catch potential age-related issues early in this breed. Catching things early is key.
And of course, the non-negotiables for any dog owner, staying current on vaccinations, year-round flea and tick prevention, and consistent dental care. Can't forget those.
Exactly. Those basics form the absolute foundation.
Okay. Finally, the guide spends time discussing something really core to the breed: the emotional depth and feigned loyalty of the German Shepherd.
Yes, their heart and mind.
They're incredibly sensitive, aren't they? Really seem tuned in to their human families and the environment.
They absolutely are. The source material points out they respond best to positive reinforcement and clear, consistent communication. They need to understand what you want.
And anxiety can be an issue.
Without adequate mental stimulation and feeling like part of the family structure, separation anxiety can easily become an issue. And while their protective nature is a hallmark,
Something people often want them for.
right, but the guide stresses that early and consistent socialization is absolutely crucial for you to ensure they grow into a well-adjusted adult dog, comfortable in various situations, not fearful or reactive.
Socialization is key.
Yeah.
And giving them a job, that seems vital to their happiness and stability, according to the source.
Yes, definitely. They truly thrive when they have a purpose, whether that's formal working roles, advanced obedience, agility, or even just learning complex tricks and doing scent work around the house. They need to feel useful.
There was a study mentioned too.
Yeah, the Journal of Veterinary Behavior study mentioned in the source, it found that shepherds with structured roles and daily interaction showed significantly higher cognitive scores and better overall behavioral stability.
So it really reinforces that need for engagement. A job to do.
Exactly.
The guide puts it beautifully. They're often more in tune with your emotions than you might be with your own. That deep connection is a huge part of owning this breed.
It truly is. So, pulling together everything from this deep dive into the source material, the overarching message seems clear. Having a German Shepherd isn't just owning a dog, it's really a partnership.
Yeah, a commitment.
A commitment, exactly. It requires consistent, informed attention to both their breed-specific physical health needs and their profound emotional and mental requirements.
And as the guide promises, in return, this loyal, intelligent breed offers, well, unparalleled protection, deep love, and a companionship that truly enriches your life.
Definitely. So, considering everything we've unpacked, their genetic predispositions, their need for mental engagement, their deep sensitivity, how does understanding these specific health and emotional needs maybe change or deepen your relationship and communication with your German Shepherd?
Good question.
And thinking about that need for a job, what could that realistically look like in your daily life, tailored specifically to your dog and your circumstances? That's the kind of reflection this guide really prompts, I think. Food for thought.